Oh, we're the Vaguely Anime Podcast. I'm one of the hosts this afternoon, Michael, followed by other host and Culture Corner other person, Sage.
Hi.
And we are talking about, I don't know why I'm going into this confidently, we didn't have a topic. You can talk about Agatha, I guess, but non-spoiler wise, just to start.
We could do that.
It's at least a starting point.
Yeah. So Agatha All Along just wrapped, I think maybe like at least in our time 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think it ended on October 30th was the final episode.
Oh, so I am behind, I guess.
I
mean, I knew I was, but I didn't think it was that long that it ended.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, I think it was a 2-episode premiere and a 2-episode finale. So out of the 9, like it wasn't that 9 weeks
right
to air it.
Okay.
But no, like I thought this show was, in my opinion, really good. They had some really fun visuals and things like that, and I was actually watching some of the behind the scenes, and I was like, while I was watching, I was like, this show looks so good. Like everything looks so tangible. Like I really love that for them. And then I was watching some of the behind the scenes, and it's because everything is tangible because they're all on real practical sets, and I was like, wow.
They actually tried?
The magic of actually being in the location you say you are and not on a green screen or a blue screen.
So they actually tried.
And you know what's even crazier is this show had the smallest budget of any MCU TV show. And I'm like, wow, see how little money you have to spend in comparison to do things in real life versus everything digitally created.
And giving your VFX artists zero time to do it.
And then your actors get to interact with things that are physically in front of them.
Yeah.
Because like while I was watching the behind the scenes, like literally everybody in the cast when they were doing like the cast interviews, they were like, it was so nice getting to be like on a physical location.
Right.
And like play off of things that existed in real life that I could see and touch.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, that's just how it for the most part should be. If you can do things real, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You know?
Because why would we do that, Sage?
I know, but I'm hoping with just like, because this show has been very highly received, you know, good ratings, things like that. People have been loving it. Super gay.
I was gonna say all I've heard about the show is that it's gay.
It's gay. We are
like
here
actually, or is it Disney gay?
No, actual gays. Actual gays can confirm.
Not background person.
No,
maybe kisses.
no,
maybe.
No, actual gays.
Wow.
Shocking, jaw-dropping gays.
Wow. Okay, but is this shocking, jaw-dropping gays for Disney standard or actually?
Oh, of course, for Disney standards.
Okay, so it's a crumb, but in terms of Disney,
it's really not a crumb. I will say, like, I guess to not go into spoilers, but I will say, like, the characters that we follow, it's not a thing of like, oh, they sideline it as to whether they are or they're not, or if it's just like a tease. No, you get good confirmation. You know,
they making out.
Oh, they making out.
All right.
But the making out, it's gonna be a minute to get there.
Yeah, well.
Because
I was just like, he's like Owl House, you know. They were like, it's too gay, take it off.
I know, but they start off, you know, when you got the messy ex and you're like, we can't really get together, but we still care about each other. You know, it's that vibe. So.
But then they do anyway.
Kind of.
Gotcha.
And the like, because in the show we follow Agatha.
Yeah, it was Agatha all along.
It was in fact Agatha all along. But so we follow her, and then there's
Does this show justify its existence?
I think so, yes.
Actually, yeah?
Yes.
Because, like, out of all the people or characters that could have gotten a show, you know, everybody was like, why the fuck Agatha? So, it justifies its existence?
I think it justifies its existence because of
what happens.
What happens and who they're setting up.
Okay. So it does. So it justifies its
It's not
reason
like
for being
this
there.
story has ended and like can exist in a vacuum.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I think it definitely justifies its existence. And I know, like, people were probably thinking, why are we doing a whole spin-off on Agatha? Because
I was one of them.
even though, like, I personally loved her in WandaVision,
Yeah, sure, but
I will take any excuse to have more Catherine Hahn on screen.
look, I love Catherine Hahn. and I
She's
loved
such a
her.
vibe.
I loved her in WandaVision, but I was definitely being like, why her of all people?
Yeah, but
Especially when they canceled so many other of the shows.
exactly. So in comparison, you could be like, okay, but like, is it really that important? But I think based on the general plans that MCU is planning,
That they keep changing.
yes, but whatever their current track record is right now,
Uh-huh.
it definitely makes sense to do it.
I still can't believe they keep fucking up a goddamn movie about a cool half vampire man that just stabs vampires.
Yeah,
It's
what
the
fuck?
easiest movie to make.
So I heard that's now what indefinitely
Indefinitely
on
on
like the
yeah.
cutting room floor.
Indefinitely hiatus
Which haven't they been trying to get this movie in
for like 7 years.
decades?
Yeah, it's been forever.
Not decades, but you know what I mean.
Forever.
Like I feel
It's
like
just because I have to imagine because Kevin Feige. Look,
it was like
I
the
will
beginning
give
of
a
Phase
lot.
4.
I will give a lot of credit to Kevin Feige. I am not trying to discredit the things that man pulled off, but he needs to get out of his own way. Not everything needs to be connected to everything. You can just make a movie that takes place in the universe, but on the street, without a world-ending threat.
Yeah.
You don't need to make it attached to goddamn Eternals.
Yeah.
Just because he showed up at the end does not mean he needs to be there for this.
Yeah.
You can bring that storyline up somewhere else. Just all you got to do is make this man look cool, which it's Mahershala Ali, so it's already intrinsically
Step 1
cool.
already done.
Already complete. Step 2, New York City.
Yeah.
Streets, not high rises. 3, vampires. 4, stab vampires.
Yeah.
That's it. It's all you need. And for some reason, they can't crack this code.
Yeah. So Agatha all along is nice and low stakes.
Yeah? It's not a world-ending thing?
It is nice and low stakes.
So
and,
it's one of the spotlights?
and it literally only like the what do you call it? Stakes or whatever, conflict or whatever, only pertains to the characters on screen.
Thank God.
Does not affect literally anybody else.
I still can't get over the fact that Moon Knight was a goddamn world-ending threat.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that because there was literally no reason to. I was, and
he just needs to be stabbing weird shit.
what makes me extra mad is I was actually enjoying what they were going for like the first 3 episodes, where I was like, okay, I can buy into this. I like Oscar Isaac. You know, he's a very talented actor. He can do each role, and
Yep.
I can believe it. And then they were doing way too much after that, and I was like, oh, you lost me.
Why were they?
Yeah, and you know what sucks though is like when they do stuff like that. That's even the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. I was like, oh my God, we're getting a small stake terrorist plot. I'm so excited, right? Because I thought it was just gonna be like this little bitty thing that he needs to deal with.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
There's no reason to escalate the stakes halfway through for no reason. Like, keep it small.
Yeah.
Everybody wants it to be small.
Everybody.
You can have the global world-ending threat in your culmination how it's supposed to be. Because then all the heroes with all their skills...
Yeah, just keep it in the Avengers shit.
Yes, I agree. I think world-ending stakes need to be strictly Avengers-titled movies.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it loses all meaning.
But the way they take it is like, oh, but they need to all be able to be shown that they can handle world-ending threats. So that way they all justify being next to each other. And it's like, no, that's not how that works.
It's not how that works, because then what's the point of having a team if one person can handle it on their own?
Yeah, it's just...
It's the Captain Marvel problem that they still haven't solved.
Yeah, it's again, it goes to the fact of like one of my favorite panels, which I'm fairly certain is a real panel, because there's a lot of Moon Knight edit panels. but I'm fairly certain it's real. I think I remember reading that comic, but it was fucking forever ago. But regardless, where like Moon Knight and Spider-Man are just on the moon, and there's like person monologuing, and Moon Knight goes, "What? Sorry, I spaced out for a second. What's going on?" And Spider-Man's like, "Oh, whatever," explaining it. And he's like, "What?" And then Spider-Man just goes, "Just punch who I punch in 5 seconds." And he's like, "Got it." Like, Moon Knight doesn't need to be world-ending, man. He just got to be like, "Huh? Oh, punch that? Got it. All right, I'll go deal with that guy. Everyone else go deal with whatever." Like,
Yeah. And I think when you have like,
Daredevil's going to be such a make or break.
what is that supposed to be in 25?
Yeah.
It's gonna
Gonna
be
be
interesting.
such a make or break.
Yeah, I think if it goes in it keeps in the line that the Netflix was going in, that kind of tone and aesthetic, and
Which they keep telling us it is. But
well, I guess like the short little cameo of Matt Murdock in Spider-Man,
and
he was still
She-Hulk.
He was pretty much himself.
yeah.
So
And the fact that they brought back Foggy and Karen,
right.
net
I feel
positive.
like I was gonna say that's
big net positive.
big net positive, and they're gonna, I assume, bring back, I can never remember his name, who played Fisk.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yes.
Well, we already know that he is.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I just
Wait, they're not bringing him?
no, they are.
Okay,
They
I
said
was
they
gonna
are.
say, because
No,
wasn't
no.
he an Echo? I was gonna
And
get really
him-
confused
no,
for
no.
a second.
And also fucking shit. I'm spacing on his name. He plays Punisher.
Oh,
John Berthold
Yes.
is also confirmed.
Oh,
So-
okay. I really like him.
Apparently,
I
they put out
remember
a statement that they want all of them back.
Mm-hmm.
So Kristen Ritter,
Like
Michael
Jessica
Coulter,
Jones, Iron Fist.
but also Finn Jones, and everyone was like, "Why? Just leave one of them on the cutting floor and leave it to him."
Right.
Like, look, I'm sure he could do a good job if he actually had time. Just get someone else.
Yeah.
Just get someone else. I feel really bad for Finn Jones, but I also don't.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. You just you didn't luck out. You got the shit end of the stick. Sometimes that happens. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But
Sorry to bring it back to Agatha all along.
well, that's fine.
But they have a song that they kind of use as like a motif throughout the.
Is it the Agatha All Along
no.
song? Oh, okay.
Throughout the show, and honestly, and they do it in a bunch of different versions, and each version is a bop. Like during the behind the scenes, they were talking about like, okay, well, we have to have one song that we can convert into like 5 songs, but all
So
like the same
one where it's like a
lyrical
rock, one's like a pop, one's like a jazz kind of thing.
But yeah, every single version is that absolute bop. Like it's so fun.
Nice. Another, actually, speaking to something that just came to my mind. Well, it came to my mind earlier, but I forgot it. Circled back to being remembering it. Something that I think you could speak to, which is the costuming issue of some of these Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Which is, have you seen the Thunderbolts trailer?
I don't think I watched the trailer in full. I did see some of the like promotional posters.
Okay, so you've seen their costumes.
Let me look
Pull
it
them
up.
up. Because I remember seeing somebody talking about this on Twitter, and I was like 100% agree, which is they're all in like grayscale clothes. Like all of their super suits are all dark or like dark colored or grayscale, dark, black, whatever. Mm-hmm. Where it's like all of them look the same goddamn generic. Where it's like all of these characters should be in vastly different outfits and look vastly different. Like they should all have way more color and accents to them to make them stand out.
They are extremely desaturated.
Right? And it's like Taskmaster should be in gold and fucking or blue and orange. Like Bucky should be in like a, I don't know, like a brighter blue or something. Or like it's just you need to add color to these fucking costumes or to the movie. One of those fucking two.
Yeah, I don't really understand this. That's actually something I get a little mad at, because if you're gonna have superheroes and this kind of like alternate reality where these things exist, I feel like putting them in, quite honestly, bland, drab outfits does not strike any kind of
like even just this example where it's immediately like.
Yeah.
And the top ones are still, they could be better, but like still, it's the immediacy of
what's really crazy to me is everybody, yes, they look like a team because they're all wearing essentially the exact same color palette. But even in the Avengers, while you understand that they are a team, everybody is instantly recognizable from what they're wearing.
Yeah.
Here, if you gave this to somebody who doesn't know anything about Marvel, I don't think they would be able to tell you who any of these people are.
Yeah.
They would not be able to distinguish these characters from a DC movie or any The Boys.
Right.
And I think even The Boys does it better, and their version is as if it's real life, if you will.
Right.
Right? And even they understand these characters need to be instantly recognizable.
Yeah.
This is just, I don't like it. It's very gray. It's very sad.
It's just like
it's giving Zack Snyder desaturation, and I really hate that.
And we need to be as far away from that as fucking possible.
I really hate that because it's just like, why do you want to make things uglier?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you prefer to put things that are beautiful on screen, or at least spark any kind of reaction? Because
color is important.
not only that, but these looks tell me zilch about the character.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially like here you see Kate.
Oh, here it is. I remember I saw this on Twitter, which is what made me think about it.
Because why is Kate just wearing an all black outfit? This is so boring.
Or it was like someone was like, I'm just gonna do a quick edit of at least something.
Yeah, like Yelena, she's just wearing an unfitted black outfit.
Yeah, it's just like accents of color at least, like something.
And then you have
where it's like, yeah, like at least, you know, she's still in the black, but at least there's the white, or Taskmaster is still in the black, but there's the orange. Like,
yeah, you have not Captain America here, and even him. Like, if you pose this against OG Captain America with how that costume looks, even though I do think it kind of devolves into like a blander look eventually.
I like how fake it looks blown up, but like.
Yeah.
But like, again, it's also like at least Bucky's arm there has color, where now it's the dark blue and like dark gold arm.
Yeah.
And it's just like you're just sucking the life out of the
and it makes him less
palette.
recognizable. Everybody knows him for the silver arm.
Yeah.
With the red star. And so to take that away, if you were new to the MCU, you only heard about them, you know, through conversation.
Yeah.
Or just, I happen to see that on a poster, you would not know who that is.
Yeah. Which is like the most important part of superheroes.
They should be instantly recognizable.
And hey, maybe later in the movie they'll fucking put them in more colorful shit. Who knows? But like look at here, Red Soldier or whatever his name is. Red Guardian.
Yeah, look how vibrant that red is, and how the white, it just pops.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even Yelena here with the purple.
Yeah.
Pops.
I
also don't understand this extreme gray color grading. It's makes it look even worse.
Yeah. Because
this is extremely dull and faded.
Mm-hmm.
It actually almost looks as if it's almost like they're telling me this costume is old. You know what
Which
I mean?
again,
like
maybe they are.
Yeah, maybe they're saying like maybe he pulled it out of, you know, a trunk that he hasn't been in.
Or they were just in like a firefight and it's dirty, you know, who knows?
Who knows? But
it's just it still stands by the fact that like it's been an issue
Yeah.
that it's still worth noting that, like, hey, even if they change costumes and they get something brighter, that's great. Like, I'm glad that they did change. But you're still sitting there being like, these are all grayscale people, and even if they do change into something more colorful after, you still just want to be like, I feel like they should still be colorful in some regard,
Yeah.
even before that.
Like, here's a screenshot from Agatha All Along, right?
All those people are wearing different shit.
All completely distinctive.
Yep.
You can understand that each person has their own personality, their own taste, their own sense of style
Yep.
right away.
Yeah. 100%.
And I understand maybe for a super suit, you would want it to be, or you would want it to have more practical elements. I completely get that. But you can still do a super suit and have it be vibrant and interesting to look at. The Flash wears a bright red suit with gold accents, okay? Like, you don't need to go subtle with superheroes.
Yeah.
This is like one of the few times you don't have to be subtle at all or realistic. It's just things like that make me mad because I'm like, I don't understand how you can do things that are this level of creative with Agatha All Along and
Right.
really like let people just go off artistry wise, but then in your major blockbuster movie you choose to take the lazy route and
Right.
make it visually unappealing.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
I
Why do you hate money, Marvel?
Yeah, it's like, again, and someone could be like, well, they're spies or whatever, so why would they be wearing vibrant? Fuck, it's a superhero movie. You could take some shit with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Whatever. Who gives a fuck? I just.
Not only that, but you can still make it fun. Like,
Yeah, and hell, maybe when they're actually in the little spy thing, their fucking costume goes darker. I don't fucking know, but like, please,
yeah.
something. It's just
Natasha was a spy, and when we first meet her, she has those ridiculous curly Q, super fluffy, fully done up curls with her bodysuit. Like, it doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense that she would look like that. But it looks good, and it looks good on screen, and she's instantly recognizable for it. You know? If anything, I feel like Yelena looks less recognizable here than she did in the Black Widow movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, why?
Because
this to me almost feels like she's just gonna like fade into the background of this movie.
yeah.
But all of them look like they're gonna fade into the background. So is there really any person who's gonna stand out? Because based on just the visuals, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I don't like it. If I watch the trailer, I'll let you know my thoughts. But I am not impressed as of right now.
Right. Yeah, I just
Marvel stuff. I heard Fantastic Four is like on the move in terms of like the production.
well,
Like, I'm getting confused. What's happening?
So everyone was making the joke that Superman and Fantastic Four have the same release window, kind of.
Oh, okay.
Where Superman finished its filming
Right.
before Fantastic Four even started. And then people were like, this is exactly why we have a goddamn problem with how Marvel runs shit, because they give their people no fucking time. But it is, I mean, it's going, it's moving, but again, it comes out like early next year.
Oh, they already have a release date?
Yeah, I thought so. Well, here, let me look.
No, I didn't know that. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. I just didn't know that. Yikes. But why do they do that? They have all the time. Marvel knew they were doing this like at least 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's July 25th.
And they haven't even wrapped filming?
They started filming like, hold on. When did Superman and
Finish filming.
production?
Also, did you see all like the online drama about the Superman screen grabs? Not screen grabs, but like the like paparazzi pics of like on set of like the costumes and stuff.
Finished completing July 16th, and its release date is like also around July, I think.
Okay, so if they, let's say the next year is their release date, they have a whole year.
July 11th.
Yeah. So almost a whole year
Of
to do
post-production.
post-production, and that includes your marketing campaign.
Yep. Which they haven't released anything for,
Right.
besides showing him suiting up.
Right. So now they're down to about 7 months.
Yep.
Still in post-production, still have time for your marketing campaign. While Marvel hasn't even finished filming and will only have 6 months to do post-production and a marketing campaign, which they haven't even started the marketing campaign for
Yep.
in any capacity yet.
Yep.
You'll love to see it. Like, we didn't even get one of those lazy, like, okay, let's just get them in a group shot with the superhero suits on,
Yeah.
right? Like, you didn't even get one of those promo materials, which is arguably the easiest thing to do.
It started filming July 30th. So
Wait,
it started filming what did I say, a year before it's coming out, right? Because it's July
Yeah.
20th or something that it's coming out.
Yeah. So they started filming basically right at the end of July.
Started filming a year before it comes out.
I just don't understand. Like, what is? I want to know what their like timetable looks like. Cause what is the plan here? Or do they film sections and then send it off for VFX, or are they filming everything?
They have to, I guess.
And then sending the whole batch out.
Yeah, they have to. But no, they I think that's always usually a thing anyway. Film stuff, send it to the VFX. Yeah, so.
Because I was going to say, if they were sending in like one giant file, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Being like, okay, this is what we want. You guys have
Where are you going?
roughly 6 months to do it.
You going to dinner? Okay, well, I could go in like 15 minutes. All right.
You
well,
got Left 4 Dead?
Wow, apparently. Jesus. Wow.
But yeah, why would they do that? And it seems like they do that for a lot of stuff.
They do. Marvel's notoriously terrible. Like, that's why VFX artists don't want to work for Marvel.
What?
Because they give no fucking time.
But it's weird because they know their schedule way ahead of time.
Yeah,
Or do they just
but they don't give a
overbook
fuck.
themselves so they have no
Yeah, they don't care.
real like
Like you know how people always say VFX were better, like way back when they show off like Davy Jones,
right.
right? And people are like, well, how VFX used to be great. What the fuck? And now we're
Because
here.
they had so much time.
And it's literally because VFX artists will always be like, because we had time.
Yeah.
We had like 2 years to work on this.
Yeah, they weren't pumping out an entire movie's worth of VFX every 6 months.
Yeah, they were like, no, we had 2 years to work on the VFX for this. Of course it looks fucking great.
Yeah.
But they're like, no, now everyone's like, oh, 6 months. A year.
Yeah.
Usually 6 months. And it's like, of course it's not going to look as good.
You have no choice but to make it look bad, quote unquote.
As good as you can.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not going to look flawless because they just do not have the time to do it.
Yeah. No, it's
And then it's even worse too because then you have people who are like, wow, I can't believe they spent all this money on this movie and this is what the effects look like. It's like the amount of money was not the problem.
yeah.
Truly,
It's the time.
the amount of money had nothing
it's
to do
always time.
with how this came out.
It is always time.
Yeah.
It's the same with animation. You can pump a lot of money into anything, but if you give them 6 months, the money's not going to do much.
It might still not look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Unless you're spending all that money to hire like
outside.
5 times the size of animation team.
Yeah.
You know, unless that's how you're doing it, which chances are you're definitely not doing that.
I mean, that's how Mappa kind of gets by, is outsourcing everything, but like,
But even for Mappa, like, damn.
yeah. And that's not a good thing. They
I was
fucking
gonna
ruin their
say-
animators and the people they outsource, but you know.
I was gonna say they're just outsourcing, destroying people's lives.
Yeah, no. But like, it's just, It's such a shame, and that's why I'm really happy with how James Gunn always talks about how he wants to run things, where it's like there'll never be a movie approved until a script is approved. A movie will never start filming until the script is finished.
Yeah.
And there'll always be at least a year before movie finishing to when it's released.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, like, which is
He
like,
seems like such a cool guy.
He
Like
does.
from the interviews I've seen with him, like he just seems like he's so dedicated to the craft.
yeah.
And like he really cares about like the minutia of it all. And
Imagine if the world let the internet cancel that, man.
uncancelable.
Well, no, remember.
No, I know.
Yeah. Which was for the stupidest shit.
Yeah.
But imagine if they let that slide, where they were like, "Yep, bye."
Yeah.
Imagine what we would have lost out on.
That would have been crazy. That would have been crazy.
Like, especially because it was the stupidest shit on the planet.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have been canceled for it to begin with. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
But people have gotten canceled for less, so like
It's true, but thank God the internet rallied on that one.
I was gonna say every once in a while the internet does have like an accurate good take of like no.
This is wrong. Don't
not
listen to those people.
not this time. not this time.
It's been a lot of years. The Spanish changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm really looking forward to Superman. He has such a love for Superman. I'm really looking forward to Supergirl. Creature Commandos seems like it'll be fun, hopefully.
Creature Commandos?
Yeah, it's the first thing that comes out for his DCU.
Oh, okay.
It's comes out December 5th. It's an animated show.
Oh, okay.
So,
And that will be sorry. I'm just asking a question because you're saying it's an animated show that's going to be connected to cinematic. Okay.
So that everyone that'll voice a character will also play them.
Gotcha. So it's like What If?
No.
Do they not voice themselves?
Like the guy that's playing Rick Flag will play Rick Flag in when he's brought into live action.
Right.
Like everyone they voice act when they be brought into live action will be playing them also.
Right.
But it's canon.
Sorry.
Well, you said What If? I don't.
I just mean in terms of like Chris Evans is Captain America
Yeah.
and voicing Captain America.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
I thought you said What If as in like
No,
it's not
not
actually canon.
No,
kind of
not
thing.
not
Okay,
in terms
all
of
right.
being
yes.
canon.
Yes.
Thank you.
They are casting people if they start out in a show that's like animated or something or a video game. Anyone they cast is going to be the person that actually plays it.
They're gonna stick with them. Gotcha.
Yeah, but where I was gonna go is the only thing that worries me is him always being like everything will be connected. So like including video games. And I'm like, bro, that's
Including video games.
and I was like, that's too much.
That's a little dicey.
That's too much. Oh, did you see to add to the shit list of Zaslav during a
Zaslav?
yeah, Victor David's the guy that runs WB that everybody fucking hates.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Tabled fucking Acme versus Coyote, shit like that. Yeah, he sucks. He hates art and money for some reason. That he during a what the fuck stakeholders meeting, whatever the fuck, one of those types of meetings, was like, oh, and by the way, we're doing another Batman game in the Arkhamverse, and the studio Rocksteady was like, why the fuck would you announce? We're not even close to being able to tell people about this. Like years out. And he was like, by the way, we're doing this. And they were like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, because video games take like.
And so they were like forced to be like, yeah, it's happening.
Man's leaking his own company's projects? Like, what?
They were like, yeah, it's happening. Not for like a long time, though. So.
Yikes, bro.
Sorry. Like.
Oh.
And so like he like years out, and he was like, by the way, we're doing this, and the company was like, why the fuck would you do that?
Yikes.
He sucks. We hate him.
WB owns DC.
WB owns. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And does WB own HBO? Or does HBO own WB? I feel like Warner Brothers is probably a bigger company than HBO. Or at least they have some kind of like interconnected situation.
HBO's is Warner Brothers.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Because it was the merger with Warner Brothers Discovery thing.
Right.
Rebranded all the shit. But HBO is Warner Brothers.
Gotcha.
And yes, Warner Brothers also owns DC.
Yes, gotcha.
Which means that they are at the whims of what's his face, because he fucking sucks. But they're winning in comics right now, so who cares? Oh my god, their comics are so fucking good. Oh my god, like
is the comics like the production of them separated completely from? I would assume they would be from whatever's happening with like DC cinematic.
Oh yeah, James Gunn's like, I have nothing to do with that.
Right. Okay.
He owns DC, but in terms of, or he's running DC, but in terms of their,
but only for what's coming out, like live action movies or I guess animated shows.
Yeah, like Jim Lee is the CEO for the comic division kind of shit.
Gotcha.
Like
gotcha.
the head of that. Like James Gunn has nothing to do with that.
So is James Gunn then considered like a creative director for DC?
He has no input on comics. Like he could talk to somebody about it.
No, I don't mean in terms of comics. I mean in terms of what all other media is coming out for DC. Like how much control does James Gunn get in this agreement? Do you know what I'm saying? Because I thought he was only doing the movies, live action.
He is the CEO of DC Studios.
Okay. Damn.
The co-chairman and chief executive officer of DC Studios.
Damn.
He is responsible for the creative direction of DC's film, TV, animation, along with his co-CEO Peter Safran. Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna go well, but a part of me is also nervous because it's DC.
If that first movie does bad, that's
if
Superman goes bad,
I have been thinking that. I'm like,
a lot is riding on that movie.
If this first movie goes bad, it's gonna be a yikes for me, dog. I think everybody else.
A lot is riding on that movie.
I think a lot of people are
hesitantly
are optimistic because it is James Gunn.
Yeah.
But they also know DC's track record and their need to fuck around. So
yeah, well, I mean, I think he said that his whole thing of taking the job was as long as they didn't fuck with him.
I guess he was like, fuck around and find out.
Yeah, I think like when he took the deal, it was like, I get say. Like, you guys can't fuck this over.
One driving voice.
Yeah. Well, technically two.
But you know what I mean.
But yeah.
Right.
But
it's not 20 cooks.
Yeah, I love that when they release trailers, they advertise comics that they're influenced by. I like that they give special thanks to the people that are involved behind characters. I do kind of wish they gave them some money, but I also don't know. I don't know how all that shit would work, because there's so many people that work on so many stories. Do you just only give some amount of royalties to the people that worked on the stories that actively influenced you? But how do you know, like...
Right, I feel like that's dicey...
It's a big... That spider web would just... It would family tree out so fast.
Right.
So, like, I don't know, but I feel like that's like immediately someone being like, that's just justifying why they don't do it, and that's not okay. And it's like, I don't know. I'm not the person to make that decision. I do think people that immediately led to something should absolutely make some money from it. I don't know how they would do it.
Right.
That's not for me to figure out.
Because it's not as simple as one artist.
Yeah, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe if it's the people specifically mentioned in the special thanks, they get something, some kind of royalty, something. I don't fucking know. But like the fact that like Donny Cates and I'm forgetting his name, but the artist that worked on the thing that created Null for Venom 3, like they didn't even know that he was in that fucking movie. They were just like, oh, like when the trailer came out, they were like, oh, the character we created's in this movie.
Oh my god.
All right.
Did you watch that?
I did.
How was it? I heard it was not great.
I was like, I'm a bad. Did you like the other two?
I thought one was fun enough. I did not like two.
Okay, cool. I was gonna say because I'm a bad judge because Eamon and Anthony love those movies.
I
don't.
didn't like 2 because I love Woody Harrelson, so saying this kind of hurts my heart a little bit. But I could not fucking stand him as Carnage. It was pissing me off for real. And that fucking red wig, I was ready to come into the TV screen and rip it off of him. And his little wind demon girlfriend was pissing me off as well.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the movies.
Yeah, that's valid. You gave Morbius 1.5 stars? You can't. Oh, I guess you can't give 0.
Yeah.
Madam Web.
Madam Web was worse. It was a worse movie.
It was a word. At least Morbius made me feel something. Like, it was rage, but I felt something.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't really like those movies. I think, especially because I feel like they just become CGI
Slop fest.
slop fest at the ends,
Yeah.
which is just whatever. And that's not like me being like the CGI looks bad. It's just it's CGI monster fighting CGI monster. Like when they do that with real people, like in Wonder Woman,
Yeah.
the first one. I also hate that.
Yeah.
It's just they're not for me. And this one, I just didn't fucking care.
That's extremely valid. Like, I was definitely not rushing to the theaters to go see it, and I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Like I always say, I don't like saying this because I understand movie theaters are important, but when it comes out on Disney Plus, I will probably watch it. But I just cannot justify spending my
Yeah, it
hard-earned
was just
money
like
on
the
this
story
movie.
was boring. It was generic. There were like a solid 20 minutes where I was fighting to stay awake, and I think I did fall asleep at one point.
That's bad.
It also has the thing where it does that guy's totally riding a motorcycle look. You know, where like I don't know what it is with motorcycles specifically that you can always tell it's fake. You know, where like it's very clearly they were not on that motorcycle, or if they were, they changed the background.
Right.
Like it's something.
Maybe
You can
because on
always
a
tell.
motorcycle, it's harder to do the artificial like wind impact, if that makes sense.
I don't know
Because
but,
when you ride a motorcycle, especially at speed, let's say you're cruising at like a solid 50 on the highway, and you're wearing a t-shirt and maybe like a coat over it,
yeah
like the way it's gonna blow is gonna be different than if a fan is in front of you.
yeah
You know,
yeah
I feel like that's hard to simulate.
I agree.
You got to put them in a wind tunnel.
There's also like a lot of moments in the movie that are just actively stupid. Do you care?
No, not at all.
Okay, spoilers for Venom Last Dance. There's a moment where like 10 minutes before said moment, Venom is like, we can't fully transform. If we do, this thing that's tracking us will find us and kill us. Can't do it. And you're like, all right. 10 minutes pass. They run into Mrs. Chang, and he's like, let's dance. And Eddie's like, why the fuck would we? You just said we can't. And then Venom forcibly fully transforms and has this full dance sequence. And then the entire time you're watching the fucking thing that's chasing them be like, oh, and bolt towards them. And you're like,
Didn't you just say you
just set up that you don't want to do it because you don't want to die. Like, you just had that conversation. It's not like, you know, like it's not like you just went through the whole thing and then you actively said, I am scared. I don't want to die. This thing will kill us. Let's not do it. And then you're like, anyway, fuck it. Let's dance.
when movies do that, or even TV shows where they're like explicitly set up a rule, being like, we can't do this right now because of X, Y, and Z reason, and then they immediately go and break their own rule. That's one of my biggest pet peeves.
And it's like, it's not even like it's like, oh, Eddie was about to die
right.
or something.
It's not like, oh, if he didn't, you know, calamity ensues.
Yeah, no, it was.
It's just bullshit.
Yeah, it was literally just, let's dance.
Oh, nothing makes me more mad. Nothing makes me more mad in a movie when they do bullshit for no reason. And then you're like, but you just established to me that is not allowed. And now you are doing it.
Yep.
Why? Don't even tell me you can't do it then.
Yep.
I would have been better off if you had said nothing and it was just a surprise. Oh, let's dance. I'm Venom. I'm Goofy.
Yeah,
Hee hee
like
ha
they
ha.
didn't put it together yet.
Right. And then he does it. He's doing his bullshit. And then the bad guy is there. And he's like, oh my God, how did they find us? That would be okay.
Yeah.
That
it
would be
took them
fine.
2 attempts to figure it out.
Exactly.
Like, whatever.
Like you didn't realize it the first time, right? Like in Harry Potter with the Horcruxes,
Yeah.
right? I would get it.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't be like, oh, if we put this necklace on, it's going to turn us cranky and evil.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, that bothered me. I
Yeah,
was like,
that
it's
sounds
just-
extremely irritating. I would be also very annoyed.
They're not for me. They're not for me.
I think they very much slip into like generic superhero movie status.
We're like lower bar.
But that's what I was going to say. But it's more like 2003 Daredevil vibe.
I was gonna say 2003 Daredevil. I was
It's
gonna say Elektra or Daredevil.
Yeah. It's definitely that vibe where you watch everything that happened on screen and you're like, you turn off your TV and you're like, I have no idea what just like I could not recite to you the plot of this movie,
Evanescence played it once.
but I know stuff happened for sure.
Yeah.
Like Ben Affleck was in fact in that movie.
Sure was.
Like that's it.
Yeah. No.
But you want character names? You want plot details?
And we have fucking at least one more with goddamn Craven.
Yeah, what the fuck? Like, is Sony okay?
No.
Like, who's asking for these movies? No one. Who asked for a Venom sequel? That's what I want to know.
It made money.
Who, after the first Venom movie, was like, you know what?
It made money.
Sequel time. Let's make it a trilogy. I'm very lost.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
I agree. I
Um,
also don't know.
we have to deal with Craven, and then
It's gonna be a Craven is gonna be a direct to Netflix release.
yeah, it's gonna be the only holdover till Spider-Verse in 2572. When we get that movie in 572 years.
I was gonna say, remember at the end of what was it, Across the Spider-Verse, where they were like, "We'll be back in 2024," and everyone was like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah, everyone was like, we know you haven't started the next
Like,
movie.
be
What do you mean?
so for real right now. You are not pumping this out in 1 year.
No. And now it's gonna be 2060 by the time we
But
get it.
honestly, you know what?
Take the time. Yeah.
You go as slow as you need to go, because so far we've had 2 of 2 absolute bangers.
I still can't believe we're not getting that goddamn Batman Beyond movie in the same kind of style.
I remember you showing me those visuals. But yeah, so 2 for 2 bangers. So if they decide they want to release movie number 3 in 2030, I will happily purchase my tickets for 2030. You know, because I do believe it will be a banger. And if it's not,
It's again.
there will be riots in the
again,
street.
As we talked about it during our review of the second movie, where I was like, my expectations, as
So
much as
high.
I tried to not have
So
them, were
through
so
the roof.
astronomically high, and they still managed to surpass them.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you do that once. I don't know how you do that again.
Coming off of Into the Spider-Verse, which this is the only movie I've gone to see in theaters multiple times. So
The only?
yeah, once I
Really?
see a movie in theaters, like that's it.
Oh,
You know.
I've done it a few times. Your Name? I
But
think I hit double digits.
this movie like was just it was just such a perfect culmination of like what art can be and should be, in
Yeah.
my opinion. And to do it so perfectly with Spider-Man.
Also, I love a movie that actually shows that animation is a worthwhile.
Oh yeah. And any person who calls animation a genre, you're wrong.
Also, if you call it for kids,
It makes no sense.
it is a
But-
medium.
But anyway, so movie 1, excellent. Any expectations that I had going into this movie, because I don't even think I watched any trailers for it, but my expectations completely blown out of the water. I was
Right.
like, wow, I'm extremely impressed.
Yeah.
Movie 2, I was a little nervous because I was like, Okay, you're going up against literal perfection.
Yeah.
So what's gonna happen? And I was willing to accept if movie 2 was just a little worse, right? Because sometimes it'd be like that.
Yeah.
It's very hard to make an even better sequel.
Yeah.
And they were just like, no, bitch, we're gonna full send it.
Yep.
So now they're gonna send it even further in movie 3.
Yeah. I always try to go into everything with tempered expectations, but I couldn't for the second one. I was trying and I couldn't.
Oh, I tried so hard going into movie 2 to be like, it's okay. Everything will be fine.
Yeah.
If I know anything, I know it will at least, I was expecting it to be like, I just know the overall quality should not be that different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. All right, let me hit you with one question real quick.
Yeah.
I was having this debate with somebody.
yeah.
This has nothing to do with movies.
Okay.
So we're full transitioning off of this.
Okay.
As someone that was a theater kid, a theater nerd,
Mm-hmm.
are musicals plays? Or do you view them as a separate thing?
I would view them as a separate thing.
See, I would say all musicals are plays, but not all plays are musicals.
The reason why I would say a musical is not a play is because the structure of a musical is that you have dialogue scenes, and when the emotions of that dialogue become too great, you have songs.
Mm-hmm.
And when the emotions of the song become too great, you have dance sequences.
Okay.
And that is a requirement of the formula,
Uh-huh.
right? So that's
Right.
why you go from talk, 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 sing, 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 dance, dance, dance in that order every single time,
Mm-hmm.
right? In a play, there is really no requirement for a play. You don't even have to do a 3-act structure.
Mm-hmm.
A play can really be anything.
But would you not consider a play like a movie? There are movies and then genres of movies, where play is the thing, and then there are the genres within plays. Where
But
it's musical,
musicals-
drama, whatever.
Because musicals really, if you want to break it down, a musical is essentially a subgenre of an opera, and you would not call an opera a play.
So that was where the debate definitely came in, because I was having this discussion with someone, and she was like, "But you wouldn't consider an opera a play?" And I was like, "No, those are different things." But a musical feels like.
But
just
a musical was birthed from opera, not from plays.
Is that true?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
No, I didn't know that.
Because operas,
They're only sung, never spoken.
um,
Isn't that the key thing of an opera? They're never spoken. It's always sung.
so you have operas in the formal sense where yes, everything is done singing.
Right.
But operas were kind of really long,
Mm-hmm.
or some operas are really long. So you
Yeah.
have comedic and tragic operas.
Right.
That's your main two categories.
Yeah.
And where musicals fit in is birthed out of the comedic opera. Because as operas evolved, and you had the Ring Cycle, which is 4-hour operas that make one story. Who is sitting there for 16 hours? Literally nobody, okay?
Right.
So operas were just really intense and heavy and long.
I would do that once.
Well, they have it at the Met once every 20 years, so
I'd do it once.
but yeah, so operas are just really long and intense and a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And where musicals kind of spawn is when you get into the less formal versions of operas where you can start seeing dialogue, is where musicals popped up its head. So I would not say a musical is a play, because a musical originally came from the concept of an opera.
But are the people that write musicals still considered playwrights?
No, because you're writing a musical, because you must absolutely write music. In a play, you do not need to write music.
I don't know.
And the music in a musical is meant to propel the
Yes,
story.
of course. But like, I always thought of it as all plays are or all musicals are plays, just not all plays are musicals. Is how I always thought about it.
No, they are two different things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Damn, she's gonna be so smug about this.
I'm just saying. Like
Rightfully so. She was.
I would
was
not
battling
say
for
a
this.
movie is the same as a television show. Would you?
No, but I was always thinking of it as there's movie, then there's action movie, musical,
Right.
drama. Like that's how I assumed it was like plays, and then there's dramatic plays, musical plays, comedy plays.
Yeah, no, musical is not a play. It's just not. Sorry.
All right. Fine.
It's factually not a play.
All right. Well, now that you're bringing facts,
I'm just saying, like,
now we gotta look it up.
there's a reason why in the Tonys there's an award for best play and best musical, and they're not awarded as the same thing.
There are best dramas and best comedies.
I'm just saying because they are in fact different. Would you call Les Mis a play? You would never go to a musical and be like, wow, that play was great. You would call it a musical because it's not a play.
But I feel like if you were like, I'm going to go see a play and someone said what? And you were like, oh, I'm going to go see Wicked. Someone would be like, excuse you, that's a musical. So
People who are informed would say that. If you know nothing about theater, you probably, yes, would be like, yeah, okay. But I would not consider them to be the same because they are inherently different. It's like live action versus animation. You can't say they're the same. Yes, they have subgenres, but they are inherently different.
This doesn't answer anything.
I'm just saying, I don't think a musical can be a play if it was spawned by opera, which is a completely different medium than a play. It has different requirements.
I don't know. Some of these things are saying literally actually verbatim what I said, which is all musicals are plays, but plays aren't musicals. Not all plays are musicals. Because what is this saying? That a musical has a play within it because of the scripted dialogue.
No. I mean, yes, it has scripted dialogue, but no.
Because its intent is still the same groundwork. It's just the way it conveys its moments is through music instead of conversation. It's still trying to do the same thing. Like you could make Fences, but with music. Would you then be like, oh, it's no longer a play?
But it wouldn't just be with music. It would have to be music that's telling the story.
Right, but like it wouldn't. I don't think it would like inherently like where it's like if someone makes like a spoof movie, it's still the same thing. Like it's getting the same point across, but funny.
I mean, I guess, but not really, because isn't a spoof inherently to spoof something?
Well, right, but I just mean like
Whereas, like, in this context of a musical versus a play,
where like it's still doing the same thing. It is just using its music as a.
also, I would like to say that I think musicals over plays do not require an actual plot.
Musicals don't require plot.
Have you seen Cats?
Don't fucking bring up Cats in
I'm
this.
sorry.
Nobody likes Cats.
Nobody might like it, but it's one of the highest grossing, most popular musicals.
You don't go like, oh, hey, The Room is great example of movies.
You go for the spectacle, and that is the difference between a musical and a play. A play, I expect to sit down and have hoity-toity, grounded.
But would you not say that
Story.
you're going into, say, Les Mis and being like, I'm not expecting to go into Les Mis and fucking laugh and be happy, or Rent? Like, I'm going into this and it's gonna be like, this is gonna be fucking sad.
No, I don't need it. I don't need a musical to be happy or sad, but the difference is a musical will always have some level of spectacle involved, whereas a play will not. A part of a musical is the experience and the spectacle of the song and dance. That is just inherent to a musical.
I still
Have you gone to a musical and you were like,
The last musical and only musical I've ever been to was Lion King, and I was like 10.
okay, and there was song and dance involved, yeah?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
But it
so
wasn't
you would
to a
never go
play,
to a
so.
musical and be like, and expect there to be, or you would never go to what is advertised as a musical. You get there and there's not one single song or dance.
Right.
You would be like, why did they brand this a musical?
But yeah, I would also think that for a movie, and it's still a movie. What point are you making here?
I'm saying, let's say you went and somebody was advertising Hamilton, which is a musical,
Yeah, I know.
right? And you went to go see this performance of Hamilton, but instead of doing the songs and the raps
Uh-huh.
and the choreography, they all just stood on stage and vocally spoke, regular speaking, all of the same exact dialogue.
Right.
You would not call that a musical
No.
because it wouldn't be a musical anymore.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. A musical is inherently
But
different than a play.
But I'm saying I'm saying that a musical is a type of play where it uses the music to progress the story. Where if you took the music out, then it's just a play.
I still think it's different. There's different elements to a musical that are not involved in a play.
But you could say the same thing with movies where you're like, yeah, you could go to if you saw La La Land and then there was no music in it, you'd be like, well, that was just a regular movie. That wasn't a musical movie. That was just a movie. Where this one's like, this is a play with music. It is a musical play. And then you're like, if there's no music, you're like, well, that's just a fucking play.
I don't think so, but sure. I just think that
I feel like I've moved you a bit at least.
Because musicals are birthed from opera, they are inherently distinct from a play.
I think that just because they evolved from something that is definitely not a play doesn't mean that they have not moved into the sphere of plays.
Because it's while yes, probably within the popular lexicon, people would throw them together is the same thing. Where you're saying in your example of, oh, I'm going to see a play, and somebody says, what are you going to see? And you say Les Mis, which is a musical, they would understand what you're saying, right? They wouldn't be like, the most average person would just say, oh, okay, right?
Unless they're targeting you.
But if you told me you were seeing a play and then you told me Les Mis, I would be like, oh, so you're going to see a musical. Because it's
But if somebody went,
not a play.
But if someone went, I'm going to go see a movie.
Yeah.
And then you were like, oh, what movie? And they went, oh, La La Land. Would you go, oh, so you're seeing a musical?
No, because that is a movie. The movie is the general term. It's on a screen,
And
right?
I'm saying that plays can be used. A play is also the general term.
I'm just saying I don't like play as a general term in that way. Because in my brain, they are two separate experiences. A play versus a musical.
But a play can be a vast majority of experiences. Because a play can be comedic or
right,
dramatic.
Right. I'm not saying that a play can't have every genre possible. I'm just saying I would never. It's a different.
So there can be no such thing as a
experience.
musical play in your brain.
It's either a musical or it's a play. Like you're either singing and dancing on stage or you're not.
I don't know.
That's the distinction for me.
I don't know.
Because saying it's, in my opinion, the same as different kinds of movies is inaccurate.
Let us know what you think in the comments. Because apparently there is more to this debate. I was having this debate with Kira. And I was
Gotcha.
just like, and she was like, no, they're different. And I'm like, I think they're kind of all the same. I think it works like movies. It is a general term, and then it's a genre within the term.
I disagree.
But then she also brought up operas, and I was like, well, yeah, operas are not plays, but there's a distinction. I think it's a different thing. Like, I would not consider an opera in there, but I think a musical is still, I don't know.
It's okay.
Let
to be
us
wrong.
know what you think in the comments, and let me know that I'm either right or wrong. Who do you decide with? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, leave a review, follow, check out Cat the Moonstar on Twitch. You have 3 weeks to watch
A Place Further Than the Universe.
that.
13 episodes. I think I said 12 previously, but that was a lie.
Yep. So, yeah, get on that. We will see you guys next week for whatever it is we talk about.
Bye.
Bye.